So, good evening, everyone, and welcome to our webinar this evening. This is a project webinar brought to you by LEOcrowdfunding. We are a property crowdfunding platform, and tonight we have some special guests as we deep dive into one of our projects that will soon be raising funds for on our platform. So, I am your host tonight. My name is David Johnstone. I am the Chief Executive Officer of LEOcrowdfunding. I'm also an approved person. So if you do go on to the Financial Conduct Authority website, look at their register, you'll find my details there. There's my approved person's number. And therefore, straight away, you can tell that the webinar tonight, it must take into account compliance, financial promotions, and the different guidelines that govern talking about investment. And we'll make that point as we go through the presentation. So this platform is very much about bringing together fundraisers, those in the world of property who are looking to raise funds with potential investors, those who are looking to invest in projects. And we bring them together on an online platform and facilitate investment into deals. So that is me. So there's our platform. For those that perhaps haven't actually been on it before, you can go into LEOcrowdfunding.com and you can access all about us and see some of the projects that were funded in the past and ones that are coming soon, and case studies and things like that. There's videos and more information on the platform. Now, I always like to point out along the bottom, Leo Crowdfunding Limited is an appointed representative of Sharon Limited, which is authorized and regulated by the Financial Conduct Authority. So that's just important to note as we lead into the presentation. So if you were to be on our site, you'll see a number of deals that we've funded. We've funded some planning uplift in Coventry. We've also got some apartments that are currently been built down near Bristol. We funded that project as well for the purchase of the land. And you'll see various case studies and different fundraisers and developers that engage with us on our platform. And this one to the left of the screen, we're absolutely delighted to be talking about this one in detail tonight. So this is currently what we call View Deal on our platform. That simply means you can access all the information to look at it in terms of a potential investment, but you can't actually make a live investment yet. And we'll be discussing that, of course, later in this webinar. So that is where we're up to. So absolutely delighted tonight to introduce you to CurationTech99. And this is a development company who have joined the webinar tonight. This is really for them and their project. So I'm not going to spend too much time talking about them because you're going to get a chance to actually meet them and be speaking to them in a very short moment. So the presentation tonight, or the webinar tonight, the project is called Plough Hill View. It's in Nuneaton, and this is the construction of 5 houses using smart technology and anti-fungus treatment. And you can see the main headlines, if you like, of the raise. They're looking to raise potentially up to £100,000. There's a projected return on investment of 25% over 12 months. The minimum investment is only £100, and we'll explain why that is later on. Part of the reason is this is very much an education project. We have a number of people who decide to invest in these projects so they can get a bird's eye view, if you like, or a front seat passenger view of a project from start to finish. And that's very much one of our educational projects. So if Hitesh can unmute himself, please, and undo his camera, I'll be delighted to introduce him tonight. So Hitesh, I'll hand over to you to introduce CurationTech yourself, and then we're going to introduce Ray, who I believe is in a very interesting location regarding tonight's webinar. So over to you, Hitesh. I'll let you.
I hope his data works fine. Hi, good evening, everyone. This is Hitesh Sridhar this side. I am a civil engineer by profession, and with 14 years of work behind me, out of which it's been about 9 years doing my own business since 2011. And CurationTech99 is basically a marriage between CurationTech India and 99 Capital in the UK. So we've started this company last year and officially January this year. We've partnered with Ray here, who's a British citizen and has a background of real estate. I have a background, and with my work over the years, we've had the opportunity to work in residential, warehousing, industrial, and healthcare industry majorly. So first generation entrepreneur, starting to 2011, we did a number of projects over the years, on an average about 20, 22 projects a year. And in the UK, this is our first development project. Rajiv is a partner from India. He's based out of India. I've moved to the UK. And Rajiv has over 30 years of experience. He's a developer himself, has about a few properties back in India. But together, the three of us, this is the first project that we've bought out completely. The land has been purchased with planning. We exchanged it in February and we bought it, completed it in May this year. Actually, to move forward. Ray, if you can unmute yourself and show us where you are.
Fantastic. Firstly, thank you for the introduction. So yes, myself, obviously, been in the industry for a good 12 years plus, worked on obviously many residential developments, and it's obviously a pleasure now to partner up with Hitesh, Rajiv in the UK and really bring all our expertise and knowledge together for us to obviously do this particular development. So guys, as you can see, I'm actually on site, the site that we have purchased. So, you know, I'll be obviously showing that around shortly, but you know, from our point of view, we've obviously selected this particular location purely because it's a locality, its beauty, and obviously the demand within the area.
Okay, Ray. So I'll just jump back in there, Ray, first. So let's sort of explain where you are. So the next couple of slides will let the attendees understand better where you are, and then I'll come off the presentation and let you sort of share your screen and have a bit of a walk around. So
even better, bigger view of the site, right?
Absolutely. So I'll let you, Ray, sort of explain exactly where you are. The attendees can see the screen in terms of a Google map, so you can give an idea of where you're currently.
Fantastic. Excellent. So guys, the plot of land itself is in Nuneaton, part of obviously Warwickshire. Fantastic location, a drive to Coventry, Leicester, Birmingham. You know, it's basically in the right location for travelling terms, and has obviously the motorway facilities locally. Galley Common itself is an area which is growing, up and coming. Has a lot of obviously local shops, social clubs for interaction, and industrial estates where we know there's a lot of employment, and obviously people looking for living accommodations. The primary school is literally just down the road from this particular site, School Road Primary School, and it is classed as outstanding. So this particular map now, which is on site, I am actually standing just at the back end. If you can point the arrow there, David, towards, that's right,
yeah.
That's right, just about there. So this is the access in to the back end, which will be plot 4. And it'll have its plot 5, sorry, yes, with its double garage. Yeah. So again, just showing kind of the background of where we are.
Ray, can I just ask, the buildings to the left of the plot as we're looking, so past the plot where you are, can you just explain, are these houses, commercial premises? What are those buildings?
These are actual houses. So again, it's a mix of semi-detached and detached properties. And these are the row of houses that will be obviously complementing with the new development. Now, right opposite, there is a development which is also taking place. So if I share my camera, if that's okay.
Yeah, I'll come off
and then obviously
and let you share. Okay, so give me a second to stop sharing and let you share your site.
Fantastic. So I'll just turn it around, guys, and give everyone a look at exactly the position that I'm in. So the plot itself, and as you can see right opposite, We
So
have a
the fencing,
development.
that's all right.
Correct. I'm trying to get the best view possible, guys. If it's not, please do let me know.
Yeah. So Ray, if you could just share the view from the road, I think that will give a
Yes,
perspective to everyone. Yeah.
I think that'd be the best thing to do. And as I walk around, I'll just kind of show you the surrounding of the views that we have available to the plot itself.
If I just mention one thing, the attendees who are familiar with Zoom, you can have it that the speaker becomes full screen. So if you top right-hand side, you can move your settings so that Ray's camera view will be the full screen. For those of you who are unfamiliar with that, you should be able to do that, give you a better look. Sorry, Ray, go ahead.
Fantastic. So, Hitesh, if you need to explain anything about the opposite development which is happening, it's countryside itself.
Yes, you can carry on, Ray. You can carry on. I think you're the best person on site.
Fantastic.
Ground.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Excellent. So, guys, as you can see, you know, a development is happening right opposite of approximately 100 plus houses. We see there's a demand in this particular area. I mean, for us, it was very important really to understand, you know, what the demographics was, what people are looking for, you know, knowing that
schools around, the commercial area, retail area around, the schools around, people are wanting to settle down in this particular area. With Taylor Wimpey's right about a quarter mile away.
Literally, if you can see from the overheads, you can see the new builds on the far end as well.
Yeah.
Again, you know, like we're working very closely with Countrywide, which is part of Burstow Eaves, the local agent for this particular area. And for us, was really understanding the demand within the area for family homes. And
so, David, to answer your question, sorry, Ray, just to answer your question, the houses that you could see on the Google top view, bird's eye view, these are the houses on the right-hand side, Ray?
Correct.
On your right. Yeah, these are the houses.
Excellent. Okay. Very good.
So the actual
Ray to Nuneaton, the town of Nuneaton, how far
if I just put it on mute for a minute because of the wind and etc., guys.
I'll take it up from here, Ray. You can put, so this is the main entry. David, sorry, you were asking something.
I was going to say, how far is this location from the town of Nuneaton? That's the biggest county town in Warwickshire. So how far is this from Nuneaton?
Approximately 10 minutes.
10 minutes, okay.
Not even 10, 8 minutes to be precise, yes. On Google, if you just do CV109 and Z, and then do the Nuneaton drive, it's an 8-minute drive any time of the day.
Okay, thank you.
So there's a question, I think, David. Just to answer that question, we are at a 10% discounted price to the project opposite to us. Or is it 15% actually? Because the valuation that we got was in the month of April this year. And Countrywide were very particular about the COVID times, and they said, we can't give you a valuation to anywhere close to what they were selling at. So the valuation that we have and have got our development funding through from is a 10% discounted from what they are selling at.
Okay, yeah.
So they're selling at about £274 to a square feet. We are valued at about £250.
Okay, very good. Hitesh, actually, remind me, I omitted to say at the start, if anyone has questions, please don't use the chat box. Put your questions into the Q&A, and then Hitesh and I can pick those up and we'll answer them. If they're relevant to where we are in the presentation, we'll try and answer them. Preferably, we'll leave them to the end and then try and deal with all the questions at the end. Please do ask questions, technical questions, financial questions, ask them. That's the whole purpose of these project webinars. You get a chance to talk directly to the fundraiser. So please feel free to ask any question you want, and Hitesh and Ray will be happy to answer them. So, okay, so anything further to do on the sort of walk around, Hitesh and Ray, or we get back to the slides?
Ray, if you could just go from the approach road that goes into the plot 5. I just want to let everybody know how far from the road we are in terms of the houses. We are at least about 12 meters, if not more, to be honest. So this is the road that we're talking about. Ray's screen. Ray, can you share your screen?
Can you see my screen?
Yeah, yes, now I can. So if you can keep walking and stop where the houses start so that everybody knows how far away from the road we are in terms of, and we've done the sound attenuation tests and the air permeability tests and everything. So we know we're better off than most of the developments happening. A little further at the back. Yeah, this is where the houses start. The front of this house would start from. So just to give you perspective, we're not right at the road. We're not right on the road. There's a driveway. There's parking right parallel to the road. Then there's a driveway, and then the houses start, and then there are lawns at the back.
Excellent. Okay. No, that's really
so yeah, I think the purpose of Ray being at site has been met.
Yes, brilliant. Absolutely fantastic.
Yeah.
Okay, Ray, I really appreciate that. Thanks for driving up and getting there. That's been superb to have you on site. I think it really brings the whole project alive, and I think it's been very, very beneficial to potential investors. So you're like really cool in your hard hat. That's the first time I've saw you in your hard hat and high vis vest, and yeah, you're looking every bit the project manager.
Thank you, David.
100%.
I'll take that as a compliment.
100%, definitely is. Okay, thank you. So that's as I get the slides back going again, Hitesh, there's a bunch of questions in. I'm going to fire a couple at you, and then I'll get back with the slides. So, how far is the train station and nearest hospital from this place? Will there be...
Ray, do you want to take that question?
Yes. So again, being 8 miles away, approximately from the city centre, the local sort of hospitals is approximately about 6 miles away from the site itself, and then likewise you've got all the locality of the shops, which are literally a stone throw away. So you've got a cooperative, you've got your little Tesco Express. So like I said, it's an area which is being developed. And you've got the likes of the Taylor Wimpey's, the countrysides that are actually developing here due to the demand, or the upcoming demand in this particular area. So, it has all the facilities that you need, especially for a growing family.
Yep. Okay. What about
and like I said, that was the importance for us.
Yep. So public transport.
Public transport is down the. Yep. So you have buses locally. You have the bus which actually takes this particular road. As well, and that the bus stop is literally across the road itself, so not far away at all. And then you have the local train station, approximately a mile and a half down the road as well. So it's very, very good sort of transport links, and has all facilities that are required for like we say, any growing family.
Brilliant. Okay. Will there be road or off-street parking from the plots?
Yes.
Yeah, just had that one. Sorry, yeah.
I'm reading
ahead here. Brilliant. Okay.
Yeah. So every house has 2 parking spaces.
Yeah. Okay.
To the property itself, and this is the reason why we've set it back from the road, is to give a private access onto the drive for each individual property.
Brilliant. Okay. So when are the units being sold for the development that's already started? So obviously we looked at the other construction site across the road. So have they already started to sell off plan, or if not, when do they start to sell?
Yes. So right opposite, we have Taylor Wimpey, which had started its construction approximately a year ago. They've actually only got approximately 20% remaining. They built 200 houses plus, and like Hitesh mentioned, at 274 per square foot, and they were achieving for a thousand square foot property, 3 bedrooms in the region of 270 plus. And again, countryside, they've started their development again last year as well. They have approximately 20-25% remaining. So like I said, there's a lot of growing sort of families coming to this particular area.
David, just to add to that, we're doing a smaller bespoke kind of a luxury segment. We're doing something upscale. We're doing underfloor heating. We're doing home automation. We get to the value adds.
Yeah. Let's get the value adds
because of the COVID times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a bunch
of get the value adds and.
there's a bunch of questions coming in here which are quite relevant to the next couple of slides. So there's one last one, Ray, which I'll bring to you. Someone said they think they noticed some ponding on the land. Can you discuss the hydrology or drainage?
Yep.
If that needed to be put in place?
It's about 1.5 feet deep, and it was
man-made.
It's man-made. It was a dog kennel used for dogs to have a bath, probably just drink water from.
Training, that's right.
For training purposes. And it's just going, so if you look at the site right now, Ray, can you turn the camera the other way? It's a slanting site which has about 1.5 meters of spot level differencing from the top level to the road RL, to the benchmark of the road. So 1.5 meters. So what we're doing is we're grading it slightly. So some of the land that will be cut off from the land, from the sale, the earth that will be cut off from the land will be filled up there itself. So we have enough earth to move around. We have a groundworks report already in place. We have our structural drawings already in place with respect to the groundworks the report that we did. Yeah. And we've had our water test reports and all of that are in place. Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, there's no issues of flooding and drainage.
So Ray, can you go to the pond? Can you walk to the pond?
Yes.
Yeah, David, we can take the next question in the meantime.
Yeah, okay. One clarity on the £250 per square foot. Question is, this covers the whole house flooring space? Just to clarify that.
Yes, the built up GIA. Yep.
Okay. What's this for?
The GIA area.
The GIA, yeah.
Okay. We'll do the key milestones later. We'll deal with that. Go ahead, Julie. Let's explain this bit, then we'll get back to the slides. Okay.
Yeah, this is the pond. If you can see it, Ray's camera. So yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Right. So let's get back to the slides.
Yeah,
I think.
okay. So let's go on.
Ray, thank you very much, Ray. You can mute yourself there, and grand job. If you want to stay on, if you want to near the end and come back with any last questions, so you can cut yourself. Brilliant, fantastic. Okay, so Ray's obviously just taking a walkabout up and down this road and up the side here and back round again. So that gives an idea of where we are, and he's covered a bit about the actual site. So it's just under a half-acre site. This was purchased at 228, Hitesh, from a auction, I believe.
Yeah. Can we see that site? Yes.
Okay, and it was your own funds, sourced funds that made the purchase, isn't that correct?
Yes.
Okay, so, on the right, you can see the layout of one detached property.
You can see the parking in front of the houses, parallel to the road. You can see the parking parallel to the road.
Yes, correct.
So, yeah, this, exactly like this. Yeah.
So moving into some of the more technical side, because there are some questions there, Hitesh, that we'll pick up as we go along. So one thing that I find interesting that we discussed the project is that your approach to the spec and the detail of the property was a little bit different than, let's say, a traditional builder in terms of some of your value adds. So I'll let you talk through these.
Yep.
If any particular questions, I'll jump in for clarity, but I'll let you talk through your value adds.
Yes. Okay. Thank you. Thanks, David, for that. So yes, everybody does talk about value adds for their own development, but we'll take the opportunity to talk about ours as well. When we started looking for properties in and around the area, Ray primarily on ground was looking for properties. We found this property rather interesting is because this had planning approved for plush designs, and the finish was a little not so common for the area that we're talking about. Now, I was always of the view that we need to do bigger rooms, because living out of the UK for 4 years now, and it was just me and my wife for 4 years, we've always observed rooms here are small, and me and David have had this conversation before. But we wanted to do a development with larger rooms, which obviously, as the British say, is not very energy efficient, because you don't heat the room up quickly enough. With bigger windows, then again, it's not very well insulated. If you have bigger windows, your house would get cooler soon, and it'll take more energy to warm it up. But I think larger rooms and bigger windows gives you better lifestyle if you have smart technology paired up with it, number one. Number two, you need to get the various tests which are necessary as per council standards as well. We've got our air permeability test, we've got our U values in place, we have chosen our window specifications accordingly. Because we're doing larger windows, we don't want too much energy to be lost out of the houses, in and out of the house. Larger rooms only because it's a family home. You look at the views, when you look at the 3Ds perspectives, it comes out to be a country home, and I'm glad it comes out like that, but it's a very functional modern day living house, to be honest, Dave. So larger room size for me is a value add. People would debate that with me, why? So moving on to smart technology, which supports the larger room size, we're bringing in home automation, which is very basic home automation. Everybody knows how home automation nowadays works. With your iPad, with your iPhone, with any of your Android-based technology, you can hook on. These are smarter switches, which talks to a basic software that it's an Android-based software that we will add on to the feature, which is included in the sale of the house, which controls your heating, which controls your electricity, which controls your all light fixtures, everything in the house that you need, that you want it to control. Now, once we add smart technology, the use of your heating, which consumes most of your electricity, becomes a little more efficient, is what we feel. And bringing this technology from Australia, we used this in India very efficiently. It's the opposite in India, right? We use a lot of air conditioning, and one of the biggest energy consumption is done by the air conditioners. So we use it to control air conditioners when we're not in the house, when we're out of the house, whether we've switched it on, switched it off, not in the country, traveling abroad, if we want to manage it, if you want to switch on the light outside, if you want to switch off the light outside. So all of that can be managed remotely as well. All you need to do is connect to a Wi-Fi and your system then talks. Everybody, I think, is aware of that. Coming to the most interesting part of this development, which we added this feature in May this year. Then again, me and Bray have been in discussion with MicroFresh, as I introduced them again on this call, since November last year. Now, this is pre-COVID times. Pre-COVID, MicroFresh, a UK-based company, was selling an antibacterial product for, shoe soles, for anti-odor systems, for anti-molds in the houses. So we were more interested in a product called Home Fresh, which was for newer developments or for, HMOs where tenants really change every 6 months to 12 months. And you need to repaint the house again. You just need to give your new tenant a cleaner perspective that, we've done it with an anti-mold product called Home Fresh and everything. And cut to March 2020, we are in the middle of a pandemic. Now, this is us and MicroFresh sitting together in April this year, brainstorming as to how we can do better with this product. Can we do a few tests with it and, claim from our tests that it can be antiviral as well? So we have our test reports in place. David's seen that. We've shared it. Anybody who's an interested buyer can be shown those test results. We can't really broadcast it out in the open at this point in time, but we are happy to say that we have partnered with Home Fresh to get our houses antifungal, antibacterial, and antiviral for a good span of 2 years. Now, why 2 years? Because we're under the assumption that whosoever will buy the house will repaint the house once in 2 to 3 years' time. So right from your groundworks, from the time where we dig the footings, treating the soil, the flooring, we mix the chemical in the paints, we mix the chemical in the plaster, and all our wall panelings includes cement plaster, wall paints, and our roofing will be treated with this product just to create a safer environment for everybody. Now, the idea is to sell it to families, obviously, bigger houses, bigger families, more kids. It's just a way of telling everybody that we care and that this will keep you safe. Now, obviously, it comes with a rider that you need to repaint it every 18 to 24 months, which I think everybody is okay with, in which case, if you buy a new house, you will do that. You'll do touch-ups, right? So you don't need to do the outside. The inside of the house can be treated with this particular technology. And we have all the test reports to support it at the back end, the 1911 product and the 2611 product, and can be shared, will be shared with people who are interested to buy and who will purchase it for them to see the authenticity of the claims.
Is there a cost implication to that, Hitesh? If you're talking about, well, first of all, the antifungal.
Yes. We've included that in our sales price. We're not charging anything over and above what we are demanding as a sale price for our houses. So yes, there is a cost implication.
Okay,
but it's not to the tune that it would really push us off.
Yeah, okay, and then regarding the smart technology, I'm curious in the sense that, I mean, we've probably all watched a James Bond film or a sci-fi film, and this wonderful smart technology, so much you can do through apps, etc. Usually the reason that's not in most houses is because of the cost. It's just prohibitive. It's just expensive. So how have you managed to incorporate that technology into the cost of the?
I'll give you two at the back end. At the back end, I'll give you two reasons. Actually, it was Ray's effort to get optical fiber to the site. Now, the entire site does not have optical fiber. Now, we've got optical fiber. Is it BT that's getting an optical fiber, Ray? You'll have to come up. Yeah, okay. And BT is getting optical fiber for all 5 houses, and for the 6th house at the back of our houses, the landlord who sold us the plot, he's getting the add-on. So he's getting the benefit of it. He's an old guy who says, okay, if you're getting us optical fiber, that's fine, but he doesn't know the benefits. But because we're getting optical fiber, because we wanted smart technology, we thought it would work best with optical fibers brought in. It cannot work on Cat6 technology. It cannot work on run-of-the-mill 10-year-old technology, right? On infrastructure which is 10 years old. So we've got optical fiber. The infrastructure is in place. Smart technology can do so much in the next 3 years, 2 years. We know that we're living in a workspace where we're going to be working from home more often than not. With your home being smart, it's a smart home basically. You could probably work from any corner, and you can then you can do anything. There are too many permutation combinations with the technology, to be honest. And I'd rather have an expert explain it on site to interested buyers what all permutation combinations and how your various appliances can talk to each other. It's very interesting, to be honest. Yes, it will be a scene out of a James Bond movie, if that makes a sale happen, David.
Okay, so I'm conscious of time here, because we do want to get some questions answered. There's a load of questions comes in. It's fair to say, guys, this is probably the most people we have had on a project webinar. So there's certainly people are very interested in this project. So let's move on through the presentation, and then when we get to sort of that summary slide, we'll reverse back and make sure we've answered all the questions. So there are multiple here. Let's sort of try and just hit them in sort of one 2 sentence answers, because there's a lot of questions here that could take a lot of discussing. When property people get together and discuss development, time can pass very, very quickly. So there's just a quick picture of inside. Yeah, so this one shows the window space you were talking about, was obviously the light and the
bifolding doors on the
which is grand. So why don't you quickly run through this? I think Hitesh, I think this would be very beneficial, and just kind of explain bullet point the journey, because again, this is an educational project that we're doing, and I know you guys were very keen on that, and we're always keen to educate. Our learn, earn, own is very much our DNA. So just give people an idea of how this started and to where we are now, and the key milestones.
Well, this started in a very different time. It was a completely different age and era, pre-COVID times. So we've been looking for a property since September, to be honest, September last year. And it was December we found this property. November and December, yes, you've got December, December. We first located this property. We got our due diligence, and Ray, is being a real estate guy, he did his due diligence, spoke to a lot of people, saw the Taylor Wimpey's and the countryside being developed. I visited the site multiple times. I was here through December. I've been here since December, actually. So yeah, pretty much it was a very, very, we actually, Ray, we saw probably more than 55 properties.
Well, amount of sites that we actually done due diligence on before we got to this particular site. It was unbelievable. But we took our time. We wanted to really find a site which we knew we could add value to. And
there,
again,
there was a
work,
certain budget, David, to be honest. Because
yeah,
it was supposed to be a cash buy, we were not raising any funds for the land purchase. There was a certain budget in which really filtered the sites for us. That between an X to Y, there were only
yeah.
a certain amount of properties that really came up. And this was one of the very few properties with planning, right, Ray?
Yes, that's right. I mean, we wanted something that we could get our hands dirty as quick as possible,
Yeah.
but also make sure that we could value add. We brought this site through a auction, but it was actually done prior to the actual auction itself. It was marketed for around about 300,000. We negotiated, to get this purchased, and we purchased it at the right price. And then having the sort of planning in place, it gave us obviously that opportunity to really go through the variations in the planning to maximize the potential. So we worked very closely with our architect, to look at the site, to look at the floor plans, to really.
We exchanged it, Ray, sorry, we exchanged it on the 17th of February, thinking we will complete it by the 10th of April.
Correct.
But yeah, we did it.
But we had, I think in total was 45 days to complete, but because of the Corona obviously kicking in, the opportunity just wasn't there to complete. I mean, a lot of people weren't working from where they were supposed to. It was all home working. Everything got delayed. So, we pushed as quick as we could to get it through. But within that time frame, because we were committed to purchase, we still worked very closely with our architect and the local council, to make sure that we could put as much through the variations rather than making any changes to the full planning application. And it worked in our favor. And like Hitesh said, I worked with BT on several sites, so I had the opportunity of discussing trying to get optical to the site, which fiber to the site, which is a benefit for any development.
Very much so.
Yeah, exactly. It was.
If I just
we got there at the end, and the main thing is that we're ready to go.
Brilliant. Okay, so just to summarize this slide, then December 19, you first located the property. You did some due diligence, obviously made your offer in January. The actual purchase went through off just before the auction in May. There was some variations to the planning that came through in June, and here we are in August. So when I know the original
David,
date, so when are you planning on being?
Just to announce, 10th of August, we're mobilizing on site. 17th of August, I think we are starting construction on ground. We are, everything's working slow in terms of getting our funds in place from the development side, from the development finance side. We have raised some money ourselves, tried to get the site pushed, and our contractor has agreed to mobilize with the funds that we have. So Monday we'll be mobilizing.
Excellent. Okay.
And
you anticipate this being a 12-month project. So literally August 21 is the estimated time it will take to build and sell the units.
Yep. Worst case.
Yeah.
Best case June 21. Worst case August, considering we are in the middle of a pandemic and everything's slow.
Just to get in there, Hitesh. I mean, soon as we get on site, we start our marketing. David, we've got obviously countrywide. Part of Burstow Eaves has a fantastic marketing plan with us, so we'll be obviously looking to get that promoted at the earliest. We also done our own internal CGIs, a walkthrough, etc., which is being completed. Again, we'll share that with you, David, so it can be put up on the website, and hopefully people can understand, what sort of finish we're looking or we're expecting. And this walkthrough will give you a better idea of obviously the rooms and what we're creating. And like I said, it's unique, especially from the general sort of developments that we have in the UK. Like I said, with my background of developing many properties, we're going for something that's out the box, as we say, but hopefully lasts for a long time.
Yep. Okay. No problem. Right. So I'm looking at the clock here, guys. So we've got sort of 10, 15 minutes max left on the webinar. I've got some things I've got to get through, but this is obviously an important slide. I know you mentioned the lender. We're not mentioning the lender on the webinar. Those who want to know the lender and the details of the actual deal, you have to register on the platform and you download what's called the equity offer document. and in that is a lot more information than we're able to share through this means. So again, as I said at the start, there are financial promotions, things that we have to be aware of, and therefore the full detail of what the guys have been talking about can be accessed through the equity offer document. I'm going to take you through how that happens. But the headline figures, as you can see there, they're looking to raise 100,000. They're happy with a minimum of 50. And I'll let you, Hitesh, just explain briefly why there's a difference between 50 and 100. I think it'd be useful for the investors just to understand the thought behind that.
Yes, so to be honest, we needed about, why we got to Leo crowdfunding very quickly is that we needed about 80,000 to start with. And because it's a first time raise and there were certain day one drawdown issues, we wanted to pay up timber frame, and we haven't spoken about timber frame, but yes, people can get back to us. So we needed that bridge funding, if I may use the word, David, to start the project, to kickstart the project. We needed the 100,000, but because in the middle of all of this and about 2 weeks ago, we thought we might be able to get about 25, 30 to start our project with. We put that in a minimum of 50 we can still work with, but we need an ideal 100K. So the question could be, if you raise 50K, how do you manage the balance 50K if that's not raised? So that has been sorted, and that's why a minimum raise amount has been mentioned. Initially, the minimum raise amount was not mentioned, David, if you remember.
Correct.
So it was only 100K. So only because we know that we can work with that gap.
Brilliant. Okay, no, that's absolutely perfect. So the minimum investment amount is £100, and that's because we want this to be, again, an educational project. People can put in a relatively small amount of money and be on board the project and get to see the shareholder agreement. And there's going to be various webinar updates. You already see that Ray is very keen to get up on site, so we can do updates as the structures come out of the ground. Ray can be there with his camera. So you'll get a really, really great view of this project from start to finish. And that is actually very, very valuable. And you can access all of that for simply a £100 investment for those who are perhaps considering their own raise in the future. So each share price is £100, and therefore they're issuing obviously 1,000 shares. So the projected return on investment is 25% over 12 months. Now the offer document will explain how that works, based on profit share and some nuances in that. But it's a very transparent way that the profit share stroke return on investment will take place, and you can access again that from the offer document. And again, completed expected around about 2021. So now there's a very important slide here. So when you log on to the pitch page on our platform, you can access an overview, you can access the financials, the summary, you can access the team. And at that point, if you so wish, you can actually record your interest in this project. And this is a way of us confirming what level of interest we have among our investors. So if you so wish, if you feel this is something that you want to do, you can put in your email address, you can put in a figure that you feel you would like to invest when the project goes live. And that just gives us an indication as to the level of interest that we have. So I encourage you to do that because it helps us judge in terms of things like when we go live. And that information is very valuable to Hitesh and Ray in terms of the project and the level of interest from investors. There's also a forum that you can access, and you can ask questions to Hitesh and Ray on the forum. And that forum is accessible to all who have registered for this project. So you can have discussions with other people who have got different experiences, different backgrounds. Everyone has a different skill set. So some might ask about the land, some may ask about the spec, some may ask about the marketing, but collectively what's happening is you're all getting information together as a group, and this crowd validation is what I describe it as, is a very powerful part of the due diligence for investors. It's not just one person looking. You could have hundreds of people analyzing it, discussing it, and collectively it leads to a very robust due diligence process. So why consider investing in the project? well experienced team. You've already you heard obviously a lot from Ray and Hitesh. You can see that the guys know what they're doing. They've got experience. They've done this before. They know their numbers. They've got the knowledge of construction. Obviously, it's an ROI that is attractive for this type of a project. The value adds we discussed, and you can learn about crowdfunding and actually access it for a relatively small amount of money. Now, what I want to do, just as we close off, and if we do get time, we'll try and answer some of the questions. But it's very important that I do this next bit. So again, highlighting the fact that this is a platform that is an appointed representative of an FCA authorized company, and how you then progress if you're not already registered on our platform, or how you actually make an investment when we're live. From the pitch page, you can see there'll be a register to invest or log in to invest. Obviously, if you're an existing investor, you just log in. But if this is your first time, you have to actually register. Now, this is very, very important because this type of investment is not open to everybody. You have to be an eligible investor. And what that means is there's a process that you have to follow before you can make the investment. So you have to register on the platform initially. You'll get your confirmation email, then you'll send that back, obviously click on it. And then you move into your profile on the platform. Top right-hand corner, you can see the drop-down box. So then you move into what we call the eligibility process. So first of all, you have to provide some KYC, some ID, your AML, proof of address, and then you'll have an investor readiness test. And this is a series of questions that just ensures that you understand the nature of this type of investment. And you have to, so multiple choice, you run through that, and only when you've passed that are you then eligible to make an investment on the platform. And that's a very important distinction. Registering your name and address isn't being investor eligible. So if you do have an interest in this project, you must become investor ready. You then also have to designate if you're a retail stroke restricted investor, sophisticated or high net worth. And that's again an important distinction that the compliance makes in the different types of investors. So that's a pretty straightforward step-by-step process. We have had investors who, even while they've been on the webinar, have started from scratch, KYC, AML, finished their test, designated their status, and invested in under 10 minutes before. So it's not a difficult process, but you do have to go through and do it. So then if you decide, yes, I would like to take this a stage further, once you're registered, then you're able to download the offer document. Up until that point, this is blocked to you, but then you can download the offer document, and this is a detailed document that contains all the information about the project, and it's on this document that you're making your decision to invest. This project is not live for investment, so I've borrowed a previous project, but if you decided to invest, you then simply put in the amount of money that you wish to invest. That will convert it into the amount of shares that you're buying, because effectively you are becoming a shareholder in the SPV, and that's the way the investment is structured. So once you've selected the amount that you wish to invest, you then have two choices of payment. Bank transfer, at that point you'll be given a unique reference number. You can transfer the funds at that point, which is the best time to do it. However, the funds don't actually go to the SPV bank account until the project has been fully funded, 14-day cooling off period, and you've accepted the investor agreement or the shareholder agreement. So that is the process for actually making the investment. If not bank transfer, you can actually move money onto your e-wallet on the platform, and then when the project closes, your money then moves to the SPV bank account. So that is your two choices of payment methods. So I've run through that quite quickly, but that is the important steps you have to take if you wish to invest. So I'm emphasizing, if you're interested, record your interest. So we have a link to you and we can email you and discuss your potential investment. But make sure, guys, you get yourself investor ready. There's no point in getting to the day of going live and you go to invest and you haven't done your KYC or you haven't passed your test, that you make sure that you're sorted. So one thing to also point out from a compliance point of view, we as a platform have done a level of due diligence. Now, we do not endorse the project. You, the investor, make your own investment decision. However, we have carried out due diligence on the fundraiser. So we've confirmed they are who they say they are. We've confirmed their SPV details. We've also done DD on the actual project. We have an investment analysis. Avina, for those of you that know her, and she has been through all the numbers, double check everything. We've verified the land purchase, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So we have confirmed that the project is what it says it is, and it's up then to you to make your own investment decision. And that's an important distinction to make. So we've got a few minutes left to try and get some questions in, guys. This is really our summary slide. I know the date we're talking about, planning for, is going live, Hitesh and Ray, potentially the 12th of August, basically next Wednesday. So we may run another webinar next Tuesday night, possibly, and then go live for investment on the Wednesday. So I think that's what we've been talking about. But I'll let you two guys just have a minute each if you want to wrap up, and then I'll get back on with the questions here. So if anything you want to emphasize quickly, we'll nail some questions and then we'll finish.
No, I think whatever we want to emphasize are in the questions. Let's just answer the questions that are about. I've typed in a couple of answers, which are one-word answers. Let's do the questions.
So I'll just go from top to bottom here, guys. No particular order. We'll jump about a bit. So in terms of the houses that you're looking to build, what type of housing will it be? Bedrooms, detached, etc. So
one detached, 4 semi-detached, as in groups of 2s, like it was shown in the plan. And there'll be 4 3-bedrooms and 1 4-bedroom detached property.
The 3 bedrooms have also a study.
Have also a study on the attic, yeah.
Good. And these
Thank you, Ray.
timber framed houses. I think it was mentioned earlier, just to make sure you're aware of that. Okay. Time frame for the project.
The time frame of the project.
I think we've already done that. I think that was done in the slide. So, you're basically starting now.
So we'll have the timber frame up, weatherproofing done by October.
Okay.
So we should have the timber framing done by the October end. So that's a milestone. Right. How much are the internal space for each house?
How much internal space?
So the internal space for each house is about 1474 square feet.
Okay. And again, some of this information is in the equity offer doc. So you can download the document, and you'll be able to read all about that. What exactly are you considering the buyer profile to be? That's a really good question. So buyer profile, you mentioned growing families, but 1 and 2 bed houses. How does that fit?
That's why it's a 3-bed plus study and a 4-bed detached property.
Yeah. Okay.
And again, just to emphasize on that, we worked very closely with Countrywide to understand the demographics of the area, what requests are they getting, what properties are people looking for within the locality. And I think that was the most important for me anyway, knowing that I've got a growing family. Everyone looks for me time. We as parents look for me time, kids look for play time. So, for us, was, like I said, adding the value of having these larger rooms so everyone has their own private space. But again, going in with Countrywide and the Burstow Eaves and understanding from their database of requirements, requests, information, just knowing what people are looking in this area for, and having also the confidence, that you got the likes of Taylor Wimpey, the Countrysides that are developing in this area, and they are developing also, family homes for that reason.
Brilliant. Okay, that's fine.
Just get through all the questions.
Have you carried?
Yes, we've carried out a site investigation.
Obviously.
Yes.
So, did you make any comparisons on the prices for similar properties in the area? Because I know price per square meter is not relevant. Yes, of course.
Yes. So it's not just the square footage that we're looking at. Like I said, we worked with Countrywide on that reason.
We're working with a ceiling price. Yes.
What
will the 100K investment?
Okay. Yes. So what will the 100K?
So Countrywide has given us the GDV.
Yeah. Okay.
Construction. The 100K investment will be used for the build, and our building cost is about 836,000 for just the build. and plus the professional fees. So it goes up to about 980,000, including insurances and everything. So just under $1 million.
Okay. So that longer question there, I think you've already answered it by talking about etc. So yeah, to answer the question there regarding value adds, etc. Yes.
No, the market analysis for home fresh has not been done. For everything else was done. Automation, people want to buy.
Yeah. Okay. Are all the necessary regulatory approvals in place? Also, any project delays anticipated due to the COVID pandemic?
That's already been covered in the 12 months that we've taken in.
Yeah. Okay.
Consideration.
Yeah. So you're basically hitting on site. Therefore, you've got everything you need to be on site. So.
Correct. Ready to go, or should we say itching to go?
Yeah.
In the addition to this, yes, the worst case scenario has been considered. Ray, very quickly, shortly, help to buy. Rent to buy.
Help to buy.
For the worst case scenario has been considered. The question is, yes, it has been considered. What is the scenario?
Yes.
Okay.
So, you know, we've obviously going to go with the help to buy scheme as well for the site. As you're aware, it's hopefully been extended in the current market. So that's something that we're looking to obviously make sure that we have available for our properties.
Yeah. So yes, in terms of visiting sites,
that's a plan, David.
Yes, absolutely. We want to be doing site visits. So there'll be webinars like this.
There'll be about 2 to 3.
Yeah.
So 2 to 3 site visits that we can.
Absolutely, we'll stay in touch with that, and you'll be getting a monthly.
It's a timber frame construction.
From the developers. Timber frame is yes, and my understanding is UK people avoid timber frame. That's the age-old debate between timber frame and.
Yeah. No, but in times of COVID, with the dearth of people at site, we need something which is more robust in terms of timelines.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Okay. Yeah. There's always pros and cons in that debate. Some love timber frame, some aren't so keen. It is what it is. It's the buyer's choice as to where they want to live. So where is the link?
Where is the link to show interest? So that's, you've covered that, David.
Yeah, I'll go back up to that slide before I finish. But it's on the homepage on our platform, and then you'll see it on the pitch page. Where's next when it was done? Estimated go live date. So we're talking about probably next Wednesday, 12 o'clock will be the go live for investment date. But if you stay tuned into the social media or you're on this webinar, we'll be staying in touch with those who have registered. So we'll certainly inform you in advance. So anyone who attended this webinar will receive the first information from the developers. You've taken the time to join us. You've spent an hour with us. So we will ensure that you get the first information about when the project's going to go live. Okay, local area, add any value to the development. I'll leave that for the equity offer doc. Let's not go into that now. So it goes into more detail on the equity offer doc. My question: different people avoid buying timber frame construction region, positive sale prospect for frame houses not selling being timber frame. Okay, we certainly can't get into that tonight, but by all means, I'm sure Hitesh and Ray will be more than happy to engage with questions about timber frame. That's one for the forum. Perhaps I'll add some of these questions onto the forum, and then you can answer them in more detail there. That's probably the best place to have that pros and cons of timber frame.
Yes.
Okay, almost there. Does the due diligence cover personal credit rating, since there's no director history of the company's house I can find, just to get comfort around the background of the directors involved? Again, happy to go through the due diligence of the fundraisers. And again, all you guys are more than happy to provide what you need to provide to give comfort on that. That is more than willing to discuss that in detail. And thank you. It's been very interesting. So that's exactly a good place to end. So I am literally going to finish, and we're literally just on the time. So just to remind everyone about this place here. So when you go on to the homepage on the LEOcrowdfunding.com site, you'll click the this project, and then you'll literally be in the landing page, pitch page, and straight away in front of you will be this box: sign up to register your interest in this project or similar, and please enter how much you'd like to invest. You simply fill those two in, submit it, and that then comes through to us. All it captures is your email address and the amount that you wish to pledge stroke invest in the project, and we then can get in touch with you and go through any other questions and bits and pieces. So guys, that is absolutely fantastic. I've really enjoyed that tonight. I think it's been very, very beneficial. And one last one coming through. What's that? Yeah, thank you very much for the feedback from the people who are on there. So yeah, I'll let you two guys just literally say goodbye, and we'll bring this to a close. This will be recorded, so we'll be able to get this link out to people, and you'll be able to listen to it again.
Yeah.
And other friends. And I think, and then this isn't going to be your last project, guys. The plan is, one of the reasons for this is you want to do this one.
No, this is just the
and
beginning.
Then start to do bigger projects. So for those who missed this one potentially, our previous project.
We have another one lined up already, so don't worry there, David.
Excellent.
Yes. We have another one lined up.
And this isn't meant to be a sales pitch or anything like that, but our previous project did fund in 2.5 hours from when it went live, and we had some investors who weren't obviously were very disappointed they missed out. So if people do miss this one, then you guys should have another one in due course that people then can get involved in.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Listen, we'll call.
Yeah. Thank you so much, David, for having us, and thank you everybody for coming online and listening to us for about an hour.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Appreciated. Thank you, David, for the opportunity.
Yeah. No problem at all, guys.
Hopefully,
you have a safe trip home. You get that hard hat off.
Fantastic. I can't show the hairstyle at this moment in time. I'll do that when the camera's off.
Thanks very much.